Hi guys, всем привет! Welcome back to my channel, AllasYummyFood. I'm so excited. Today I'm gonna show you how to make these fluffy cherry piroshki with a crumble on top. They are so amazing. Honestly, if you love cherries and you like piroshki, the combination together is bomb. It's so good. And the crunchy topping on top of the pirozhok, each bite just explodes in your mouth with juicy cherries, really nice fluffy pastry and a crunchy topping. I really hope you enjoyed this recipe. You can get access to all my recipes just down below under this video and become a member today. Now let's get baking. Into your jug add lukewarm milk and make sure it's not hot or cold. Then add half of your sugar mixture, mix everything through, and then add your dry yeast. You can use instant yeast or dry yeast, whichever yeast you have at home. Mix it through and we're going to leave it aside to activate. Once your yeast has activated, you want to add your eggs, sour cream, and melted cold butter. Make sure it's unsalted. Mix everything through and then lastly add vanilla extract. Now over here I've got my flour and the remaining sugar and a little bit of salt. I'm just gonna start mixing it with a dough hook in my attachment and slowly adding my wet mixture. Don't forget to use your spatula and go around the sides as the flour usually gets stuck there. Keep mixing as you add your wet mixture. By the way guys, I'm making a double portion here, so you don't need to make this many. It makes a lot. So I'm gonna give you half of the ingredients for this recipe. So keep adding your flour a little bit at a time until your mixture is all incorporated. The dough will be very soft and sticky, just like this. Use oiled hands or wet hands or floured hands to get rid of your dough from your hook, and then add a little bit of flour onto your counter, and you want to knead your dough by hand a couple of more times. Keep adding lots of flour as you roll it out, as the dough is still sticky, so it will need more. Don't over add the flour though, as the dough will become very starchy. Once the dough is nice and folded a couple of times, as I said, it will still be sticky. Don't worry about it. You will need to leave it to prove. So add a little bit of oil into your bowl and add your dough. You're going to add cling film over the bowl to make sure that the yeast can raise, and leave it in a really nice warm place. While our dough is raising, we're going to make our delicious cream cheese chocolate filling. Over here, I've defrosted my cherries for a couple of hours, and I've separated the juice from the cherries. Into my cherry juice, I'm going to add my corn starch, and I'm going to mix everything together with a whisk until it's nice and smooth. It should look just like this. Into my cherries, I'm going to add sugar, and I'm also adding butter. This will make the filling very nice and creamy and absolutely delicious. I also like to add a pinch of cinnamon, and that's like a secret tip that I want to give you. This will bring the cherries even better, the smell and the taste. So place your cherries with butter and cinnamon and sugar onto a stove. We want to cook this for a couple of minutes until the butter starts to melt. And when the mixture is boiling, we're going to add our cornstarch cherry juice mixture. The reason why we mix it before is this, so it doesn't create any lumps when we add it into our cherry filling. So it's really important to do these steps the way I'm showing you. Once you added your juice, you want to mix it on a medium heat, and using your spatula or wooden spoon, you want to mix it constantly. Do not leave the stove at this stage, as the mixture will harden pretty quickly. You want to keep mixing it until you start to get that delicious creamy cherry filling, which is quite solid. So it will look like this. So keep mixing it, and once you're happy with it, you want to transfer it onto another bowl, and we're going to leave it to cool down completely. So this will take about an hour. You can put it in the fridge if you want it to be faster. To make the crumble on top, which is absolutely delicious, you want to add sugar, flour, and butter. And you need to make sure your butter is nice and cold. And then using your fingers, you just want to kind of grate everything together. You can also use a food processor for this, but honestly, it's such a small amount, you really can do this quickly by your hand. Once your cherry filling has cooled down, we're going to take our pastry and our dough, and we're going to pinch a little bit from our dough. You can measure the piroshki if you want them all even size. I don't usually measure them, but if you want it to be perfect, you can. So you want to roll out each piece on a really floured surface, as the dough is very, very sticky. And then you want to add 1 tablespoon of your cherry filling and seal it from the top, and then going all the way around the sides and then forming it in your hand to create a beautiful pirozhok. You want to repeat the process with all of the little pies and just fill them up nice and well. I like to add a lot of cherries, but that's because I love cherries and I do recommend you do that as well. Once you have shaped your piroshki, you want to place them onto a parchment paper and leave them to proof again for about half an hour. And once they're done, you're going to egg wash them. Make sure you go all around the sides and on top. Lastly, you're going to add your crumble that we made earlier on top of each pirozhok. And trust me, the crumble is really worth making. Place your piroshki into preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit for about 20 to 25 minutes. The house will smell amazing, I can promise you that. You want to leave them on a cooling rack to cool down completely before digging in, as they're very, very hot. And once they've cooled down, I'm just going to show you how it looks inside. They're absolutely delicious. The pastry is so thin, so crunchy on top. The cherry filling is tart and creamy at the same time. And it's just unbelievably delicious. Honestly, these become your favorite. I promise you, your kids, your family, your partners will love you for making these. I hope you enjoy them.